Hey, this is Eric Major with Bundle. Today we're going to talk about a quick and easy way that you'll be able to estimate your 2022 mortgage production using the MBA mortgage forecast. So every month the Mortgage Bankers Association, they come out with a forecast for the current year and next year. And so we're going to start there. You can see from the graph that last year, major spike. There was $3.8 trillion in mortgage originations in 2020 as rates dropped. That carried into this year, but next year we're going to see a pretty heavy decrease in mortgage originations. It's going to go from 3.8 trillion last year to around 2.3 trillion next year in 2022. So that's about a 39% drop. And to put that in perspective for a company, if you did $1 billion last year, next year you can expect to do about 610 million. And if you're a mortgage loan officer, if you did $10 million in total production in 2020, next year you can expect to do about 6.1 million in production. But we're going to go a little deeper here because this next section might impact what you should expect next year on a personal level or on an individual company level based off of your mix. So first we're going to look at purchase volume, and you can see here there's nothing really crazy going on. It's a nice steady increase. In fact, there's about a 20% increase next year when you compare it to last year. So 1.4 trillion to 1.7 trillion. But you see a big difference when we go to refinances. So it's all over the place. You saw that massive spike last year. You can see that here on this graph, and that carried into this year. But next year in 2022, it's going to go from 2.4 trillion last year all the way down to 600 billion in 2022. So you see a pretty steep decrease. That's about 75% decrease from last year to next year in refinance volume. So what does that mean for your individual company? It really depends on what your mix is. And so we're going to do two examples here. One example where a company originated $1 billion and they had a 50-50 split last year in purchase and refinance volume. And so they are going to see a decrease. They're going to see a 27% decrease next year when you compare it to last year. But it's not going to be as severe as somebody that was a lot heavier on the refinance side. So this company is going to do $600 million in purchase volume next year and $125 million in refinance volume. So they saw a big decrease, 500 million all the way to 125 in that refinance bucket. But overall, they're down 27% versus a company that was way heavier on the refinance side last year. So let's take a company that did 80% refinance last year and 20% purchase. They're going to see a much larger overall drop in their mortgage production. This company would go down from $1 billion to $440 million. And that's all because they had a much higher concentration in the refinance bucket there. So this is just a quick explanation and a good way for you to estimate your 2022 volume for next year.